All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to be digging into this really powerful idea: Bethel is not your destination. And right away, that probably makes you think, right? It's this idea that what feels like your biggest, most amazing spiritual moment, well, it might not be the final stop.
And this quote right here, this is kind of the key to the whole thing. An open heaven is an invitation, not a conclusion. It's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? What it's really saying is that these amazing, profound spiritual experiences, they're not the finish line. Nope, they're actually the starting pistol for whatever's coming next. So let's talk about the journey. Where does it even kick off? Well, it all starts right after a moment of really deep healing.
Okay, so the story we're pulling from begins in a place called Gilgal. And Gilgal is known as the place where the shame of Egypt gets rolled away. Now, when you hear Egypt in this context, just think of it as a symbol, for all the old stuff, past bondage, trauma, things that held you back. So Gilgal is where you get healed from that. It's where you get set free. And that's like an absolutely critical first step. You have to start there. But here's the kicker. And this is so important. The teaching is super clear on this. God will never let you stay where he first healed you. He will always move you forward. That's really the engine driving this whole concept. See, healing isn't supposed to be a comfortable couch you just sink into forever. It's meant to be a launch pad. All right, so you've had your healing at Gilgal. The journey's not over. The next stop on the map? Bethel.
So what's the deal with Bethel? Well, the name literally means house of God. And it's described as this incredible place where heaven just crashes into earth. It's where you hear your true identity, where your destiny gets revealed. It's a place of a powerful, direct encounter with the divine. I mean, that sounds amazing, doesn't it? It feels like, okay, I've made it. This is it.
And the original story of Bethel, it comes from Jacob. You might know it. He's out in the middle of nowhere, lays his head on a rock, and has this wild dream. He sees a ladder or a stairway stretching all the way to heaven with angels going up and down. And then God himself is there, speaking these incredible promises over him. So Jacob wakes up and he's just blown away. He says, wow, surely the Lord is in this place. That's the quintessential life-altering Bethel moment. But here's where it gets really interesting, because there's a twist. A place that's so good, so powerful, can actually become a trap. Let's talk about the danger of getting too comfortable. And to make this crystal clear, the teaching uses this fantastic metaphor. Think of Bethel as an airport lounge. And it just clicks, right? An airport lounge is awesome. It's comfy, you feel safe, they've got snacks, Wi-Fi, all the amenities. But you're not supposed to live there. It's a waiting area. Your real destination, the whole reason you're at the airport, is your purpose, your calling, your inheritance. It's the mission. And that leads to the punchline of the whole metaphor, which is just so good. If you build a house in the airport lounge, you will never reach the nation you are sent to. What a powerful warning, right? Don't get so cozy in the waiting room that you completely forget you have a flight to catch. So this all reveals something really deep about this stage of the journey. Bethel isn't just a place of encounter. It's actually a test. It's a test of your hunger. And if you look at the story of Elijah and Elisha, you see two totally different ways to handle this test. You've got one group, the sons of the prophets. Now, these guys were in the know. They knew what God was up to. But what did they do? They just kind of watched from the sidelines. They stayed put in Bethel. And then you've got Elijah. He knew the exact same information, but his response was completely different. He didn't just watch, he pursued. He got up and followed Elijah right out of that comfortable, familiar place. And this really clarifies the point. The test at Bethel is not the same as the one back at Gilgal. Gilgal was all about consecration, getting things right. But Bethel is a test of your desire. It's basically asking, are you happy with this amazing experience you just had? Or are you hungry for more? Are you willing to go after everything else that's waiting for you? And there's a pretty serious historical warning that comes with this. Believe it or not, later on in the story of Israel, the actual place called Bethel became a center for idol worship. I mean, how does the house of God fall that far? Well, the teaching suggests it's because people started loving the location more than the Lord. They fell in love with the structure more than the spirit, and they valued the tradition way more than the ongoing transformation. So all of this is building to one central point, one big invitation. You have to move beyond the encounter. And there's another great metaphor for this. Think of Bethel as an engagement ring. I mean, an engagement ring is beautiful, right? It's a powerful, tangible promise of a future covenant, a future marriage. But it's not the marriage itself. You're not supposed to be satisfied with just the ring. That would be like saying you love the idea of being engaged, but you're too scared to actually get married.
And this really highlights a huge step in spiritual maturity. It's about moving from only feeling his presence in a special place or a special moment to actually carrying his presence with you everywhere you go into every situation.
So where is this all going? What's after Bethel? In the story, the next major stop is the Jordan River. And check out this contrast. It's so powerful. Bethel is where heaven opens up, and you get revelation. Amazing. But the Jordan, that's where mantles fall. That's where you actually walk in authority. The promise you received back at Bethel, it gets activated at the Jordan. And the cost of staying put, of just camping out at Bethel, it's really high. Listen to this quote. If you remain at Bethel, you will become nostalgic instead of prophetic. You will live repeating yesterday instead of releasing tomorrow. Wow. You basically become a museum curator for past memory instead of being a pioneer for a future mission.
So, when you boil it all down, this whole thing lands on one final challenging question. See, the question isn't, have you had a Bethel experience? Lots of people have. The real question is this: will you move when he moves? It's a challenge to us all to leave the comfort of what was and to step out and pursue the promise of what's yet to come.